Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today as we kick off the home stretch of planning leading up to the World Athletic Championships, Oregon 22. I'm joined by Nils DeVos, Executive Director of Oregon 22, Richie Hunter, Vice President of University Communications for the University of Oregon, Eugene Mayor Lucy Venus, and Todd Davison, Chief Executive Officer of Travel Oregon. I think everyone here today joins in my excitement for Oregon to be hosting the 2022 World Athletic Championships. This is the first time ever that the United States will host this prestigious event. Doha, London, Beijing, Rome. These are the previous host cities for the World Athletic Championships. And now, Eugene, Oregon. The fact that the selection committee picked our state to host this global event reinforces what we all know, that the beauty and bounty of Oregon is special enough to be highlighted on an international platform. Oregonians should all stand a little bit taller, knowing that we were chosen to welcome and host this esteemed event. This July, 2,000 athletes from more than 200 nations will come to Hayward Field at the University of Oregon to compete for a chance to call themselves the best in the world. And our very own Team USA will have the opportunity to compete on a global level right here on US soil. Oregon 22 will draw thousands upon thousands of visitors from across the globe to our state, and we are ready to welcome them. Hayward Field is the heart and home of track and field. At the University of Oregon, modern track and field began in 1895. Over the years, it transformed from a recreational pastime to a dominating legacy. Eugene has become known as Tracktown USA. Its reputation solidified through hosting a number of important high caliber sports events, as well as from the extraordinary homegrown talent emerging from Oregon. Folks like Steve Prefontaine, the legendary runner who, while at the University of Oregon, won 7 NCAA titles and held multiple collegiate records. Or our University of Oregon alum, Raven Rogers, who trains in Portland and won bronze in the Tokyo Olympics. And 2-time Olympic champion Ryan Crouser, a shot putter from Boring, Oregon, who set the world record at the Olympic trials at Hayward Field last year. He's the current world leader. We are so honored to cheer on these amazing athletes and welcome the world. This is truly a time for Oregon to shine. We can't wait to show off our amazing food scene, our small businesses, agricultural products, and outdoor adventures that make Oregon renowned worldwide. My team is working with partners from across the state to seize this moment and maximize the economic benefit to the state. We wanted to bring you, our members of the media, together to share details about how we're gearing up for Oregon 22 and what this event means for Oregon. With that, I'll kick it over to Nils DeVos, Executive Director for the Oregon 22 Organizing Committee. Nils, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Governor Brown. Hello, everyone. My name is Nils DeVos, and I'm the Executive Director for the Organising Committee for the World Athletics Championships here in Oregon in just a few weeks' time, 20 weeks' time. I just want to share a few brief points on the global impact of the event, and then give you some context as to why it makes perfect sense for this event to be coming to this place at this time. Perhaps the most important thing to understand about the global impact of this event is that the World Athletics Championships is commonly viewed as the second biggest single sport event in the world, with only the World Cup in soccer deemed bigger. With 2,000 athletes from 200 plus countries, it's actually the biggest measured by reach. But perhaps the most important measure for Oregon and the whole of the United States is the global media impact. This event is a 10-day TV and social media promotion for the state of Oregon that will position Oregon as a place to visit, a place to live, and a place to do business. Over July 15 to 24, there will be an estimated 6,500 hours of live television coverage around the world. The event will be seen by somewhere close to 1 billion people globally, and that's comparable to the FIFA World Cup final and nearly 10 times the numbers that watch your Super Bowl. Add in impressions through press and social media, and the reach becomes even greater. I think you'll agree these are some pretty astonishing figures. Perhaps I'll turn to why Eugene now. As Governor Brown mentioned, this event is traditionally hosted in major global cities: London, Paris, Beijing, Tokyo. So why Eugene, Oregon? Well, just as Formula One travels the global circuit of mega cities, it still views Monaco as its spiritual home. And for the world of track and field globally, Eugene is the equivalent of Monaco. It's the spiritual home. It's small, intimate, legendary. It's unique. There's really too much to be excited about as this event comes here and to the United States for the first time this summer. So to share some more of that excitement, let me kick you back to Governor Brown. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nils. Next up, we have Richie Hunter. She is the Vice President of University Communications for the University of Oregon. Richie, take it away.
Thank you, Governor Brown. We are thrilled to have the World Athletics Championships Oregon 22 at Hayward Field at the University of Oregon. Hayward Field truly is a world-class track and field facility,
Right?
giving athletes
I'm assuming when
an
I'm
unparalleled
I'm not
stage,
on, right?
giving fans a
Okay.
theater for track with comfortable seats, in-stadium amenities, amazing sight lines, and intimacy for competition, and intimacy to the competition. We are grateful for this gift that gives our talented student athletes every opportunity to excel, and which allows for an incredible international event like the World Athletics Championships Oregon 22 to come to our campus, our state, and our country for the first time. In addition to being a celebration of diversity, human potential, and athletic achievement, the University of Oregon is using the inspiration of the World Championships to create hands-on opportunities for our students and faculty, and catalyzing impactful research benefiting the lives of Oregonians. For example, our faculty are studying wildfire smoke and air quality issues with the aim to better detect, predict, plan for, and respond to smoke events. This team of researchers has also partnered with World Athletics Health and Science to study the impact of air particles on the health of athletes and to look at the impact of the event itself on the air quality of the surrounding community. It is our hope that the sustainable way we host events will show no impact and then can be used as a model for environmentally healthy event production around the world. When you're in Hayward Field at the University of Oregon, keep an eye out for the air quality sensors on the track. Also, our students and faculty in the School of Journalism and Communication are creating a multitude of opportunities for hands-on, career-building experiences. They're working closely with World Athletics Productions to design the opening title sequence for the video introduction to the event, as well as producing a number of media packages which will be broadcast across the world. These are just two examples, and we have many more ways that students, faculty, and staff are involved. Track athletes and fans around the world know of the Hayward Field Magic, or Hayward Magic, where the impossible becomes impossible, where records are broken, and where the energy between fans and athletes merge into unbelievable experiences. We can't wait to showcase this magic and the magic of the University of Oregon on the world stage. And with that, I'll send it back to you, Governor Brown.
Thank you so much, Richie. Really appreciate your participating today. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Eugene's very own Mayor Lucy Venus. Mayor Venus, take it away.
Thank you so much, Governor. It is wonderful to be here this morning. The World Athletics Championship, Oregon 22, the city of Eugene with an incredible opportunity to showcase our state. Since learning that Eugene would serve as the host city of this event, the first time it has been held in the United States, our local leaders have come together around the common purpose to welcome and inspire the world. Eugene's vision is to celebrate our unique community, create a sense of belonging for all visitors, and build civic pride. Bringing this vision to reality requires a significant investment by the city of Eugene as we work with event organizers to ensure that we are providing inclusive access to all Oregonians to participate in this once-in-a-lifetime event. We are still seeking financial support to deliver a free riverfront festival that will run separately and concurrently for the duration of the Oregon 22 event. That riverfront festival is one that welcomes visitors and community members alike, celebrates our diverse community, and provides live caption viewing of all the events, the only place in Oregon for this access. We are excited about the opportunity that Oregon 22 provides as a launch point for our legacy as Tracktown USA into a new future that builds on our innovative industries, arts and cultural sector, robust sustainability initiatives, and an amazing quality of life that all Oregonians cherish.
Thank you so much, Mayor Venus. And last but not least, Todd Davidson, Executive Director of Travel Oregon. Todd, we're so delighted you can join us today. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Governor, and good morning, everyone. You know, it's been said several times already this morning, but it cannot be overstated that the exposure of Oregon on the world stage through Oregon 22 is an unprecedented opportunity for the state. This event is not only going to showcase Oregon in a way that has never been done before over the course of these 10 days, but this stage is also going to give visitors that are here and the viewers on television a glimpse of all that Oregon has to offer as a destination. The COVID-19 pandemic had a very sudden and significant impact on Oregon's travel and tourism industry, especially in its hospitality sector. Nearly 40% of the jobs that were lost in 2020 were in the leisure and hospitality sector. Prior to the pandemic, tourism in Oregon was generating more than $12 billion in visitor spending annually. However, in 2020, that number was cut almost in half. Oregon 22, though, will drive overnight stays and support local businesses leading up to and throughout the event. That alone is impactful from an economic standpoint. However, the ability to also put Oregon center stage throughout the global broadcast of the event will inspire demand for future leisure travel to Oregon well beyond the championships. Leading up to the event, Travel Oregon will tailor our communications and marketing to the current and likely ticket holders, providing them with trip planning information and aiming to really expand their trip beyond the event, as well as to inspire future travel to Oregon. During the event, our agency is also going to leverage the opportunity of destination awareness that is brought by the broadcast exposure and the on-site media attendance. As has been reported, we anticipate that upwards of 3,000 media will be in Oregon reporting the event to an estimated billion viewers in 200 or more countries. We also want to ensure that our guests that are visiting Oregon and for Oregonians themselves, that they have an amazing experience, that they feel welcome, that they have accessible transportation and lodging and are connected to those things that we cherish as Oregonians. So as we move forward, we want to make sure that in addition to our traditional marketing, we're also going to carry forward our role as we did during the pandemic to help our visitors know what to expect when traveling in and around the state. After all, July in Oregon is a busy time of year for many of the state's businesses, attractions, and outdoor recreation areas. But much like we did during the 2017 solar eclipse, we'll be encouraging folks to plan ahead, arrive early, stay longer, explore other parts of the state. Leave plenty of time to get to and from events. Take advantage of public transportation when possible. Have a plan B. And be kind to our hospitality workers. A smile and a little extra gratuity can go a long ways. And of course, when venturing into Oregon's outdoors, we urge people to be prepared. Follow those leave no trace principles and fire safety guidelines. All of these recommendations and plenty of ideas to assist our visitors with trip planning information can be found on our consumer website, traveloregon.com. All of us are absolutely thrilled for this immense opportunity to have all eyes on Oregon this July. The championships will boost local economies as visitors stay in Oregon hotels, eat at our local restaurants, and sample Oregon-made products. These impacts clearly have an immediate economic benefit. In addition, we have research that shows that nearly 60% of travelers to Oregon have purchased Oregon products after they've returned home, with more than 30% of those visitors purchasing those Oregon products several times once they return home in order to share them with their friends and family and relive the memories of their Oregon vacation experiences. They're also inspired to plan those return visits. People who watch the events from home will be inspired by what they see on screen. And ultimately, we expect the championships to inspire future visits to Oregon for years to come. Thank you again, Governor Brown. I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Todd. We really appreciate your leadership. And with that, Liz, we're ready to take questions.
Our air quality to unhealthy levels. Does Oregon 2022 have a backup plan for this event or just a plan if that is the situation?
Thanks, Amanda. We've got teams planning for a number of contingencies, and I'll turn this over to Nils to talk about the details.
Yes, thank you. It's a very good question. And as Governor says, we've got experts in this area, which clearly don't include me as someone who's been imported from Britain to look at this. But ultimately, the timetable has flexibility, if absolutely necessary, to move an event should the air quality be so bad that athlete health is impacted. We don't envisage that's likely to be the case, but that is the ultimate sanction. But like everything else in life, prevention is always far better than cure.
Great, thank you. Next up is Rachel McDonald from KLCC.
Hi, thank you for having this press conference. I also was curious about the wildfire smoke, but that's already been asked. I do want to know just about lodging in terms of having the capacity for this huge number of people to come to Oregon and to Eugene. And I know a lot of places are already booked. So how does that look, and how, what are plans for how to accommodate everyone?
Well, we certainly want everyone to have a fabulous experience as well as to be safe and secure throughout the event. But part of having a fabulous experience is making sure that there is access to lodging in the area and that people can easily access the games. And so, Todd, do you want to handle that one?
Thank you, Governor. I am happy to. I think it's important to recognize that events like this, as well as other major track and field events that have occurred in Eugene and other major events that may have occurred in other parts of the state, create what we will refer to as compression within the lodging industry. And by that, what I mean is there will certainly be rooms that will be booked within that Eugene, Springfield metropolitan area, but there will also be rooms that will be reserved up and down the I-5 corridor, as far south as Roseburg and beyond, and as far north as Portland. And really, lest anybody think that that's a detriment, I think it's important to keep in mind that when you heard that list of international communities that have hosted this event before, hosted the World Athletics Championships previously, And as one who was able to be in London in 2017 for that particular event, our daily commute to the field from our hotel was easily an hour. And so keeping in mind that those kinds of travel times are not at all unusual when you consider how the event itself is going to be pulled off. I think the other thing that's important to note, and I will defer to my colleagues in Eugene and with the U of O, is that for the athletes themselves, looking at really capitalizing on the access to the dormitory facilities there, the residential and dormitory facilities there at the U of O, to really create an essence of an Olympic village for our athletes and coaches and those that are traveling with the teams as well.
Richie from University of Oregon, do you want to add anything to Todd's comments?
I don't have anything to add, but I do want to introduce Carlin Schreck, who is one of my colleagues who may have more to add.
Thank you, Richie. So we think it's only fitting that these world-class athletes will be staying in an athlete village comprised of our really terrific residence halls, as our very first Olympic gold medalist, Otis Davis, became a track athlete because he was looking out the window of his dorm room and said, gosh, I can run faster than those people, and across the street to Hayward Field, and 2 Olympic gold medals later, he absolutely was right. So we are thrilled that there will be around 3,000 athletes, team officials, and others who will be staying in the residence halls at the University of Oregon. It will provide an opportunity for athletes, of course, to be able to just walk across the street to the field of competition and not have to worry about hours-long commutes. And we're especially thrilled to be able to provide them with this athlete village type experience where they'll have an opportunity to get to know each other, learn about each other's cultures, and also celebrate the native lands that the university and that part of our campus, of course, is built upon. So we couldn't be happier to host them on our campus in July.
And if it's appropriate.
Nils, go ahead. Sure,
Yeah,
Nils, go ahead.
But I think this is the most exciting thing from an athlete perspective about this event, is because normally at a World Championships, athletes stay in city centre hotels, and we all know what your average city centre hotel is like. It's a small room with not many amenities, and I've been a team leader myself. And one of the complaints of athletes is, where do we go to meet our friends in our own team? Still more, where do we meet friends from other teams around the world? So being able to offer the Olympic style village experience, which is unique for a World Athletics Championships, is really exciting. And that's what led John Ridgeon, who's the chief executive of World Athletics, when he was over last summer, to say he thought this would probably be the most athlete friendly World Championships ever. So huge thanks to the University of Oregon for enabling us to do that.
Great. Thanks, Liz. Let's take another question.
Great. Next up, we'll go to Wright Gazaway with KATU. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. Thanks, Governor. My question is about the mask mandate. It seems like the state gave Oregonians a finish line with 400 hospitalizations and a continued decline expected. We hit that last week. I'm curious why we didn't drop the mask mandate effective immediately.
Well, I'm really, really pleased with the efforts of Oregonians across the state to comply with safety protocol like our mask guidance. It's a way to protect yourselves, your families, and your community members. We worked to develop the criteria. It was based on a number of things, including hospitalizations. And as you're well aware, the CDC came out with additional guidelines as well. We have worked with the state of Washington, with the state of California, and Oregon to coordinate. And I am very pleased to see the mask guidance being lifted at 11:59 on Friday. And I think Oregonians will share in that excitement. That being said, obviously, folks that are still vulnerable, folks who have health issues may want to continue wearing masks as they go about their daily lives to keep themselves and their family members safe.
Do you think people who thought 400 was a hard finish line maybe misunderstood the guidance, or what?
Look, I am here today to talk about the incredible opportunity that we have to showcase Oregon on the international stage by hosting the World Athletics Championships in 2022. I think as we are moving out of the pandemic into a endemic phase, it is an incredible opportunity to showcase the beauty and bounty of Oregon, and an opportunity to lift up our tourism industry, to lift up the creative makers that we have throughout the state, making wonderful, innovative products, and to showcase Oregon's food and beverage. And I think the timing is perfect. It couldn't happen at a better time for Oregon, frankly, the country and the entire world.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wright. We will go next to Joe Raineri with KGW. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey there, you guys got me okay?
We got you, Joe.
Perfect, nice. Well, hey, good to chat with you guys. I have a couple quick questions, and I don't think they've been touched on, so we'll knock these out quick. One is the economic impact. You mentioned, 2,000 athletes, 2,000 to 3,000 different athletes staying on campus, of course, but you got about a couple 100,000 who will be visiting. Can you guys talk about what kind of a economic impact that means for not just the Eugene area, but basically the state, with people staying up and down the I-5 corridor?
Well, I think the impact of the event in terms of economics alone is extraordinary. This event has already changed the face of Eugene and, of course, Hayward Field. I don't know if you've ever been near the field, but it is truly amazing. And it is a world-class facility. In talking to U.S. athletes, they are so excited to be able to compete at this level on home soil. They can hardly stand it. So in terms of the athletes, we know they're excited to compete here. In terms of the economic opportunities, it won't just impact Eugene, it will be the entire state of Oregon. We're hoping with Todd's help that folks will not only stay in the mid-Willamette Valley, but will travel to our beautiful coastline, to Eastern Oregon, and enjoy the mountains or our beaches, that they will get a taste of Oregon's homegrown food. We are one of the states that really pioneered the farm to table movement. Our fabulous beer and wine. I will tell you, I think we're doing the best in the entire world now. And I just think it's an incredible opportunity to showcase the very best of Oregon. Todd, do you want to bat cleanup?
Happy to, Governor. You raised an incredibly important point. Earlier when I was talking about the compression that will occur and where these rooms will be booked, I think it's important to note, as you just did, that this really helps ensure that the economic opportunity that this event contains for the state of Oregon during these 10 days initially is spread broadly throughout the state. Like I said, it could be as far south as Roseburg, perhaps even further south, and as far north as Portland, just on the I-5 corridor for lodging rooms during the event itself. In addition, though, we also know that within that same driving distance is the Oregon coast. Folks could literally stay on the Oregon coast and be able to drive over for the sessions each day and really round out that vacation experience here in Oregon. Similarly, they could stay up in the Cascades, up the McKenzie River corridor and other locations to be able to do that as well. To put a fine point on the economic impact, as you had noted, Governor, there was a study done by Eco Northwest in 2015 that this was at the time that Oregon was preparing to bid to host these events. And they estimated that the economic impact of the event was $52 million in direct spending associated with the event itself. And when you look at the spending by visitors and the event would actually wind up totaling $138 million with the total output. So you look at all the goods, all the services that are being produced, it's a significant economic impact from just the 10 days of the event itself. And again, that was a study that was done for the event in 2015 by Eco Northwest.
You had a second question, I recall.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a message to you. There's getting some bad feedback, so I'll make this quick. The other question, of course, what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, and some organizations have banned athletes from participating in athletic events on U.S. soil. Is that something you guys have discussed at all?
I'm going to turn that question over to Nils, but before I do that, I just have to say my heart goes out to the people of Ukraine putting their lives on the line for democracy. We want to support them in whatever ways we can. Nils, do you want to talk about the impact on the games and the athletes, please?
Sure, and here to your sentiments, Governor Brown. So the decision on athlete attendance rests with World Athletics, who are the governing body, not with ourselves as the organising committee. And they have already previously announced that athletes from Russia and Belarus will not be invited to attend this event. So that is the situation as announced by World Athletics, and I imagine that will continue to be the situation. But the decisions do rest with them rather than with us.
Great, thanks, Joe. Next up is Julia Shumway with Oregon Capitol Chronicle. Go ahead, Julia.
Thanks. So my questions also has to do with the situation in Ukraine and Russia. We've seen that it's having worsening impacts on the economy. We're seeing inflation going up. It looks like that's going to continue. Governor, what are you doing to start to plan for some of these economic impacts to try to mitigate their effect on Oregonians?
Thanks, Julia. And of course, I will turn it back to the World Athletic Championships in terms of the economic impact for Oregon. But we're obviously watching the markets very, very closely and looking for Oregonians to help, looking for ways to help Oregonians meet ends meet. I was really, really pleased with the work of the legislature, particularly Representatives Rachel Pruzak and Andrea Valderrama during the legislative session to create a funding package for our families that are struggling, a $600 in economic incentive. And we are hoping to get these dollars out the door very quickly so that they can go into the pockets of families that need these resources the most. But we're going to continue to look for other opportunities to support vulnerable families across the state. I will say, I do think the economic impacts of these games won't obviously just impact the Eugene region. It will impact all of Oregon. And it's an incredible economic opportunity to highlight Oregon products, from Oregon country beef to our amazing cheeses, to the amazing beer and wine that we're producing. All of these products will have an opportunity to be showcased during these World Athletics Games. And it's an incredible opportunity for Oregon economically and culturally. And we should all be very proud that these games are coming here to Oregon.
And Governor, are you convening your Council of Economic Advisors or other groups to help you figure out what's happening with our economy?
Yes, we met during the legislative session, and I fully expect to be meeting with them soon to talk about the impacts of the war in Ukraine and the impact on struggling families throughout the state. As I said, we've certainly taken steps during the legislative session, and we're looking for other ways that we can support families that are struggling. A couple of the bills that passed, including the child care investments, I hope will enable some of the parents who've had to stay home and take care of kids during the pandemic, will provide greater access to child care so that folks that need and want to get back into the business economy can do so, can get back in jobs outside homes. And the other piece is our investments in Future Ready Oregon, access to job training opportunities that will create access through job training and assistance for childcare and transportation that will hopefully open the doors of opportunity and enable Oregonians, particularly those that have been hardest hit by the pandemic, to access good paying careers throughout the entire state.
Thanks, Julia. We have time for just a couple more questions. We are going to go back to Amanda Arden at COIN.
Hi, I had a follow-up question that I should have asked Niels after my first question. He said that if wildfire smoke is too severe to compete in Eugene, that the event would be moved. I'm just curious to know what venues are being considered as backup locations. Are those in the state of Oregon? And then I had a second question for Mayor Vinis. I know we have the new Hayward Field in Eugene, and there have been major improvements made to Inn at the Fifth. Wondering what other changes Eugene has put into place, or maybe improvements throughout the city in preparation for this large athletic event.
Okay, we'll go to Mayor Vinis first, and then we'll talk about weather impacts. Mayor Vinis, take it away.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be able to answer this question because we're very excited about the investments we've made. We have built a whole new riverfront park, 3.5-acre park along the river. It will be the site of our Riverfront Festival. So we are inviting the world to that riverfront park. It's a world-class park. We have done it with sensitivity to the historic nature of the park, to the landscape. It will have a performance stage, and it is connected. It is an easy connection to Hayward Field. So folks who have a break in events they're going to or have a morning off can be at that park. And it is a place where we will showcase our Oregon businesses. We will showcase our Oregon food and beverages. We will showcase our Oregon arts and performances. So we're very, very excited about being able to share that community, and that riverfront development will connect to the Fifth Street Market and connect to our downtown. So we're creating a corridor, and we are providing, we're investing in bike share, in scooters, in ways in which people can get around on their own 2 feet, because there's a whole riverfront bike path and walking path, so people can easily get back and forth without having to get into a car, without having to worry about where they parked their car. They'll be able to get through our community and hopefully enjoy and learn about both Eugene and the state of Oregon.
So Amanda, you can see that even those who are not track and field aficionados will have wonderful things to see and do in Eugene and the surrounding area during this time. But I also have to say, for those who have not watched track and field closely, the skill and strength of these athletes is extraordinary. And I hope that Oregonians will have an opportunity to watch. We think it's a great opportunity to grow the next generation of track and field athletes in Oregon, obviously to highlight the beneficial impacts of physical exercise in terms of the impacts on people's health and particularly behavioral health right now. So Niels, would want to turn it back over to you to talk about contingency planning and the innovation that the schedule may require if there's events.
Yeah, very happy to, and thank you for the clarification, because I think my English may have led you to misunderstand me. When I said move, I meant move in hours rather than geographical location, because over a 10-day program, then clearly you have the ability, if necessary, to delay an event. Let's say it was a distance event like a 10,000 meters where air quality has far greater impact than over 100 meters, we can play within the schedule. But to be clear, there was no intention to move the event. I mean, this to reinforce the point, this is a global event with an infrastructure around it on a scale that you would associate with a US Open or a Super Bowl. Yeah, all of those broadcasters have a broadcast village built next to the stadium. So it's not something that can be upped and moved to another venue with any credible reality. So it's about moving within the schedule as opposed to moving the event. So thank you for giving me the chance to clear that up.
And Amanda, just a really quick example. I was down for the Olympic trials this summer. It was really hot. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they took a time delay and started at 8 o'clock that evening. So that's a really concrete example of what could happen. But we're planning for all of it. So thank you all for joining us. We look forward to connecting with you again as we go closer in time towards the event. And with that, Liz, I think we're concluded for the day.
Great. Thanks, Governor. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank you.
you.